The Brassband Robbery. One morning, a large wooden crate arrived on the goods train at Fern Hollow station. It was addressed to Lord Trundle and marked Fragile. "I wonder what it can be," said old Stripey, the porter. "I don't know," replied Mr. Twinkle, the station master, "but I'd better telephone Lord Trundle and let him know it's arrived." When he heard the news, Lord Trundle was very excited and rushed down to the railway station in his car. "Ah, at last!" he cried, looking at the great wooden crate. "I've been waiting for this to arrive for weeks." The crate was much too big to go inside Lord Trundle's car, so old Stripey and Mr. Twinkle helped him to tie it on the roof rack. Then away the car went, bouncing and rattling down the road. The next day, Lord Trundle held a meeting at Trundleberry Manor. "As you all know," he began, "May Day isn't far away now, and I want to do something really special in way of a celebration. So I've bought these." Lord Trundle pointed to the great big wooden crate. "Musical instruments," he went on. "Fern Hollow is going to have a brass band." Everyone had been given a musical instrument, and the band had begun to practice, when suddenly the door burst open and in walked Snitch and Snatch. No one had invited them, because they were always causing trouble. The two sneaky weasels had been peeping through the keyhole, and they decided that they wanted to join the band. "Give me the big drum," said Snatch. "I'll have the sousaphone," said Snitch. "I'm afraid there are only 2 triangles left," said Lord Trundle very politely. "We don't want your silly triangles," screamed Snitch. "And what's more, if we can't have the drum and the sousaphone, then you won't have them for long either." And off they went, slamming the door behind them. That night, Snitch and Snatch broke into Trundleberry Manor, intending to steal the drum and sousaphone. But as Snitch was carrying the drum down the steps in front of the manor, it slipped out of his hands. Boom, boom, boom it went as it bounced down the steps. The noise woke Lord Trundle, who jumped out of bed and looked out of his window just in time to see the 2 weasels running away with the musical instruments. Quickly, Lord Trundle telephoned Fern Hollow Police Station. Constable Hoppet arrived a few minutes later, looking slightly out of breath from pedalling his bicycle so fast. "Don't worry, Lord Trundle," he panted. "We'll soon track the villains down. Which way did they go?" Lord Trundle pointed out the direction which Snitch and Snatch had taken, and followed PC Hobbit as the policeman raced off in pursuit. "There they are," cried PC Hobbit. "Down on the riverbank. We've got them now. They'll never be able to swim all the way across the Ferny with the drum and the sousaphone." But the weasels had a plan. They pushed the big drum out into the river and jumped on top. Then Snitch began to paddle with a stick, while Snatch held onto the sousaphone. Soon the weasels were halfway across the river, leaving Lord Trundle and PC Hoppet standing helplessly on the bank. It looked very like Snitch and Snatch were going to get away, but suddenly the drum became caught in a strong current and was swept down the river. The terrified weasels clung onto the drum, for all they were worth, but it was no use, because they were quickly swept over the waterfalls. Luckily for them, the ferryman was watching and was able to drag them both out. As a punishment, PC Hobbit locked Snitch and Snatch up in Fern Hollow Police Station for a few days, where they missed all the Mayfair fun. Lord Trundle's brass band was, of course, a great success. They paraded around the streets of Fern Hollow all afternoon, before at last they stopped for a well-deserved rest at the Jolly Vole, where Mr. Crackleberry supplied everyone with orange juice and sandwiches.